Nengón and Kiriba are two styles of music that keep alive the primitive traditions that gave rise to the Cuban Son. In the 1800s, from the Baracoa mountains of Guantanamo, the eastern region of Cuba, thousands of slaves were committed all day long in the coffee and cocoa plantations, from sunrise to the sunset. After the days of the collection of coffee and cacao beans came the days of drying. Like the Taínos, the African culture is naturally gifted when it comes to rhythm and singing. The slaves in this area were always singing and dancing while they work. This is how Nengón was born, between the workers. It was a work technique. They performed dances to spread the beans in the bean dryer, and once the coffee was dry, the work was over and the party began. This is where the Kiriba is performed, dancing, singing and playing music. The first instruments used to accompany the dances was the tingo talango, a hunting trap for wild animals, which later becomes a musical instrument. It was a Congolese root instrument renamed in Cuba as the tumbadera. The tumbadera works as a bass and as a drum at the same time. It was played by plucking the rope and knocking the planks covering the hole. This created a deep bass sound. With so many influences from other cultures around the island of Cuba, the tumbandera was replaced in the ensemble by two proper musical instruments, the marimbula and the bongo de monte. Marimbula was a whole wooden box. It had metal tongs placed in the front and worked as a bass. The bongo was two little drums attached to each other with an open bottom. It had an animal skin nailed to the top. Both of these instruments find their roots from Africa, and once they start playing, they have a constant dialogue between each other. So here we are. From the tumbandera, we have our first full little orchestra developed during the 1800s. The marimbula, the guayo, maracas, and bongo. Around the 1860s, a new music style was born called the Changüí. It was a fusion and evolution of the two previous styles, Nengón and Kiriba. Later on, other elements joined the ensembles as well, such as the tres, a kind of guitar with 3 double strings, 6 in total. It was created in the end of the 17th century during the first years of the independent war. The tres was a mix between the vihuela and the Spanish guitar. The vihuela was a quarterphone with 6 double strings, and the Spanish guitar was with 6 single strings. Nene Manfugas. Thanks to this young boy, the development of what will be the most popular style of Cuban music, son, was developed. The first sonero of Cuba. He is credited with introducing the rhythm of Changüí from the countryside to urban areas. He was the singer of songs and interpreter of the tres, bohemian and adventurous in nature. Nene Manfugas walked through the intricate mountains, singing his chorus-based song, accompanied by his rustic instrument that soon after made him so popular in the remote rural areas of Baracoa. Around the year 1880, he transferred his music from the isolated fields to the great city of Santiago de Cuba. This new sound was not only popular, it saturated the entire island of Cuba. I hope you enjoyed these short stories.